Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Can you hear
Heather.
me? Oh, you can't hear me. Hello. Well, welcome everybody. How are you doing today, Abby?
Hey, I'm good, Heather. How are you?
I'm awesome. It is so good to connect with you and see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
It's been a long time, for sure.
Look at how beautiful your hair looks too.
I
Wow.
know I had pretty much a shaved head for a very long time, didn't I?
Yeah, it's almost like Rapunzel right now. I could climb right up it.
There's a lot of it, I'm sure.
Abby,
Yeah.
so I always like to go over why I'm doing what I'm doing here, being well aware of the fact that I really don't know what I'm doing, and the reason why I'm doing it. So we have all here in the Erie community, the wellness community itself. I believe we've all kind of grown up together, starting our businesses, doing sole proprietor, working with other people, and we've all come such a long, long way. And the pandemic, I feel like, really kind of scattered our community, very much so, right?
Yeah.
Because it's body based, and bodies weren't allowed to be around each other for so long.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring us all back together, start connecting with each other again, find out about what we've been up to, where we're at now, where we're going, and really just be able to help our clients and our guests. Not all of us can provide everything that one person needs. And we can only do that by being a supportive community of wellness practitioners to be able to refer to other people or know, hey, you're having this issue. I really believe Abby's classes would be helpful for that. So I just wanted to bring that all together for clients here in Erie. Also, selfishly, I just wanted to reconnect with some old friends. Um, and I also wanted to not have to leave my house to do so.
Sure. I'm in my house right now.
And I have become very comfortable in my home, although everybody knows that I'm a social butterfly, so I do get out. But so Abby, I always like to start off with how did you and I connect with each other? Can you even remember?
So, when I moved to Erie, everybody has told me this, and my wife included. They're like, wow, you know a lot of people. I think I literally landed here and was like, how many people can I get to know? And so a lot of the time I'm asked this question and I have no clue. But I do think we have a connection with my wife. And
Yes.
I think that it may have been kind of through Emma in a way. I mean, we're in the same, like you said, group,
Groups. Yep.
but I think she told me about you.
Yeah,
So
specifically Emma.
yeah.
And that's right. And I even said that in one of the questions that I asked you, Abby. I was just about to call you Emma.
That's okay. It happens all the time.
Abby, that when you came to Erie,
Yeah.
we embraced you with open arms. We absolutely fell in love. What's your maiden name, Abby? It was
So I was married previously, and when I was married, my last name was Davis. But this Pooler is actually my name. Emma took my name. I know.
oh, okay, okay, all right,
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, and it all has to do as a testament to you and your energy that when you came to Erie, everybody was like, who is this fascinating woman? And
Thank you.
I just want to be close to her. I just want to be in her circle. Um, and you just fit in with everything here. So how long ago was it that you moved to Erie?
I think it was about 11 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been that long. And it's really kind of interesting because yoga and Erie, as far as the time frames are concerned, that's how I figured that out because I'm in my 10th year. of teaching yoga,
Okay.
and I arrived here like a little bit before I decided to do that. So I'm assuming it's around 11 years.
So you must have had a lot going on then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm originally from Maine,
Uh-huh.
and I moved to be with my ex in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. I know. So I went from Maine to Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went from Birmingham, Alabama to Erie, Pennsylvania. And I will be honest, no offense to those two places, neither one was on my radar of places I would ever go to, but it was unbelievable the experience I had going to places that are just very different from where I grew up. But yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot to come here, and then I got divorced, and there was a lot of transitions that
Yeah.
happened while I was here, which was really interesting. And Erie was there for me, and it's definitely it's
So
definitely a wonderful community. Mhm.
that transition in your life, is that what led you to yoga? Tell us about what kind of led you to yoga and how that coincide with maybe being here. Let's start with that story.
Okay, so actually, no, that wasn't the reason, even though it's kind of fairy tale like.
Right.
But yeah. But I actually started doing yoga. I think it was around middle school. Yeah, and this was before just, I mean, I'm 39, 40, one of those ages.
Right.
I just tell people I'm 40. It's just easier because whatever. But so I started back in that time where it wasn't, I don't want to say cool, but it wasn't like it was very mainstreamed, right?
Right.
And I started because I suffered from anxiety really bad
Mhm.
as a child. And so I started doing that, and it was to coincide with my therapy. And while I was doing it, I didn't really connect at first. I was like, I'm breathing, I'm stretching, whatever.
How old were
uh,
you then?
Gosh, like I said, I think I was in middle school. I don't know exactly when I started completely, but it was
Yeah.
around that time.
Right, right. So
So
that
yeah,
age where you're kind of like whatever,
yeah,
right? But they were
you
like,
hate
it'll
your
help,
hair,
and you're like, I don't
you hate
know.
your body. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm really thankful that I went at that time in my life.
Hmm.
But anyway, so I went there and I was doing it, and then I started to feel the benefits. Okay, I was able to cope in school a little bit better. And then it wasn't really until college that I really saw myself going in the direction of teaching. So when I went to school for art. I went to school for painting and a minor in printmaking at USM in Maine.
Okay.
And while I was going, you need to take those core classes, all those core classes. And there was one for like physical education, and they're like, all right, do you want to take badminton? And I'm like, no. Do you want to take soccer? And I'm like, oh God, no. I'm not that coordinated. So I was looking, and then it said yoga. And I was like, what? I've been doing this. This would be great. This is, comfortable for me. So I signed up. When I was taking the classes, they had to test you on. So we ended up learning anatomy and the philosophy and the history of yoga and a lot of Sanskrit, a lot of things of that nature. And my goal had always been like, I wasn't really a school person, you
Right.
know. My lineages of teachers in my family, and so it was kind of like you had to go to school. Like, you graduate, you had to go to school. So I was like, what am I going to go for?
Uh-huh.
And all I knew is that I wanted to impact people,
Mhm.
and I thought to myself, art was going to be the way to impact people.
Right.
And I'm sitting in this class, and I still to this day, like, it's like an outer body experience. Like I feel like goosebumps.
I just got the
Um,
goosebumps too. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yep.
like sitting there at some point during that class, and I said, "No, this is the way I need to impact people." But let's just note the fact that I graduated college 2001.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't get certified until 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like I want to be a teacher, I'm going to go get certified. To me, that transition deserved time to breathe.
That is a great way to put that, Abby.
Thanks.
That really is. Because a lot
Because,
of people
yeah,
think it's a hard boom, I make this decision and then I got to do it. It can simmer, right?
right. And I think it, you know, and this is not to be any, like, you know, anything judgmental in any way, but like you could go and get your certification at any time to teach yoga. You know,
Right.
it's all over the place. But I really like anybody that's approached me and said, you know, like, tell me about your journey, tell me about, like, I'm thinking about becoming an instructor. And I tell them all the time, like, listen, like, absolutely, you know, if you feel that this is something that you want to bring, absolutely. But keep in mind, something happens to your practice and to yourself when you become a teacher. Um, and if you're not ready for it, if you don't feel like this is the legit the path that you need to take, if the universe isn't absolutely telling you so, that it could be a negative experience for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It was very positive, but I've seen a lot of people that have taken like teacher trainings just to expand their knowledge. And they, you know, we're all students forever. I'm forever a student.
Right.
But when you decide to become a teacher, there's it's very different forever.
It's a whole different set of responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you do have to be ready for. And I like the way you put that, Abby, because I know I've seen you while you've been here in Erie, and I know you've you'll do a lot, and then you've got other responsibilities and things going on in your life, right? And you've
Mm-hmm.
you've had a career where you've worked real jobs, right?
Yeah.
And you've done yoga on the side, but
Mm-hmm.
I know during all of this you have been working on yourself too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So throughout these years you've been working some other jobs. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about how, like, what other jobs have you been doing? I am curious about that.
Yeah.
um and just to dive a little bit of that, and then how have you been sprinkling yoga in, and then we'll get to where you're at today.
Okay, so I have worked at many places. um, Primarily in the banking world, which
Okay.
some of you are probably shocked because they're like, artist, yoga, banking. Okay. um,
Mhm.
I have this part of my brain that, like, that left side, that calculative side, that I really like to tap into. So I loved that. And I loved all the jobs that I've had, their experiences, their wonderful experiences. I guess, really honestly, the reason, just like becoming a teacher, I didn't dive into owning my own business. I didn't say, okay, I'm a teacher. This is it. You know, I mean, just because I'm a yoga instructor does not make me not human, you know,
Right.
and um I was fearful of just going there by itself. And and so I did this 10-year stint of balancing.
Yes.
And honestly, one or the other suffered in little ways. I mean, I could do it, I survived it, but I knew that yoga was and is my passion. It's just, societal
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. You think, again, real job, right?
Right, right, right.
And so I tried to do both. And I lost a lot of opportunities I wish I had, but no regrets,
Right.
learning. It's part of the learning process. And it has made me so much better to now.
Yeah.
And, and it, again, letting that time frame breathe too.
I think it's like, like I said, it's simmering, it's percolation. And here's the thing, when people jump all in, owning your own business can be isolating.
Mm-hmm.
Very isolating. I don't mean that in a bad way, but there's something to be said about taking the time to work with other people and work in corporate type of culture, because you can learn a lot of those skills of running a business that you're going to be able to now take that into your own
Right.
business.
Right.
It makes a big difference. There's processes and procedures. How do you market yourself?
Yeah.
In working with other people, because working with other people is not always easy, which is part of the reason why sometimes we like going off on our own and doing just our own work. But
Mhm.
eventually you got to work with other people. So I think I've always loved and appreciated your intentional way of growth, and not necessarily just jumping in. I see people who jump in and I'm like, whoa, I worry for them sometimes, and sometimes that's for somebody and sometimes it's not. So
Mhm.
I've always loved seeing you do what you love, have that balance with having to live your life and be part of doing the society thing, the real job thing. So I've enjoyed watching your journey along the way.
Thank you. I really do think, Heather, that because I did management, because I did, I got to know the community, because I, took the time to do it and to start, like, I will also say, as a yoga instructor, and I'm sure this goes across the board for wellness people, is that, how do you, how do you make that a business? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt really like, ugh, about it. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, do I do that? Like, how do I do that? Because I'm here to bring yoga to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to accept payment. I
But
had
how
to,
do you bring
yeah.
people to the yoga in a business type of way? I know exactly what you're saying. Yes. Because it
Yeah.
can be hard to charge for something that is a healing service
Yeah.
and not want to just give it away.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
really, if I could do massage every day, all day for free on people and not have it be a business, I would do that hands down.
Right.
But can't.
I know. And it's an exchange of energy, like
Mm-hmm.
anything. Like anything, it's an exchange of energy. People made their money by working. That's their energy they put out. They're giving you a piece of that. So, um, I have to get past that. But also, I mean, like, I guess what was hard for me just starting the business was saying, I have my own business and it's yoga. Like I just didn't see like yoga and business together, right? I felt like I wanted to be like one of those old gurus that was, how like gosh, like people I'm gonna hopefully not butcher this too much, but people of like in the clergy, or they're kind of supported by uh the community, right?
Right.
Like they go places, they're supported. I wanted to I wanted to just be like that yoga of the community, yogi of the community, and just be supported by the community and not have to worry. But, I have a family, I
Mm-hmm.
have monetary responsibilities just for living. I have a 2-year old. So for me, like, I have to,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm also very cognizant of the fact of financial restraints on people. I don't want yoga and I'm going to make this very well known, to be a bougie, skinny white lady thing.
Right.
And I want to say that because that is so against anything that's yoga. So for me, it's like, how can I do that? So,
Abby, without intention, but yet with intention, you have grown your community, and you are more of a guru than you see of yourself. So you're a lot further along than you may realize.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, girl. Oh, I feel like crying.
I know. I'm like,
yeah. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear, because as a business owner, you don't get those recognitions sometimes. You don't get those awards. You don't,
It's hard. You don't always want to know what people are saying about you, because sometimes it's not always, sometimes it's best not to know what people are saying about you, but the good stuff, it's good to know.
Yes. And and just on that aspect, I do want to say that, and if you go to my Facebook page, if you see what I've been doing recently or from the beginning, I collaborate. I'm like, bring it. Let's see what kind of different collaborations we can do.
Yep.
Like, let's do it. And I'm all about promoting and loving on this yoga community here in Erie, because I have met the most beautiful, interesting yoga practitioners ever in this community. So
I will say that's one thing about Erie. We are so surprisingly supportive of each other, especially in the wellness community. I guess it's not surprising. I mean, Erie itself has its own hard time, clicky type of things going on. But we really do support one another. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing in the wellness community, in the art communities, and even in the business communities themselves. We're pretty amazing people here in Erie. Abby, I want to find out where you're at right now. Tell us where you're at right now, because you're jumping.
So I literally am, where am I at this? So I have found the cliff. I have jumped off into a beautiful landscape. And I'm kind of ziplining.
Yes.
I'm kind of ziplining, which I love to do, by the way. So right now, goodness gracious, so on a personal level, I left my corporate job, which was scary but exciting, and I knew it was the right time. Yeah, sure did. And not because of them or anything like that, but just I could feel it was the right time to do this. Right time for my family. There's been many discussions here, there. Is it right time? Is it not the right time? This is the right time. Emma and I adopted our little boy in January. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
That's amazing.
That was like 3 years. It's 3 years worth of fostering. And then we adopted our little boy. So he's amazing.
Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's amazing to have, that settled. And I felt like everything just kind of like got where it needed to be.
Yeah.
So that's happening. So we are new mommies, and we, Emma's still working at her job. She's wonderful. Shout out to her, because her.
Yeah.
She is like, I am like, and she is like,
she's so much is your earth for sure, right?
She is, and she's gonna watch this, and she's gonna be like so embarrassed that I shout out to her, but whatever.
She's gonna be like, I am.
I know. Well, she knows it. She knows it. So anyways, so, this has happened. My business has started. It's there. I have an LLC. Thank goodness I had a lot of business banking experience. Got
Okay.
all of that taken care of. I know. See, all of these
See how
things that were in my path, you know?
it all comes
Yeah,
together. It's going to be
it
helpful.
does.
There's a reason why you're learning the things you're learning and the steps that you're learning them. Yes.
Right. And so, and at 39, I'm like, here I am, world. And I have at this point, oh my gosh, I had to bring my schedule with
Yeah.
me. So I was like, I've got so many things happening. And just sidestep for a second, I did get certified in children's yoga, kids yoga, and
Okay.
that is something that is very near and dear to me, especially, I'm a mom, but as a former foster parent, what kids are going through these days with, coming out of a pandemic, hearing things on the news, parents' anxiety with that, so that's been kind of a thing going on. So I'm going to be
Let's
teaching.
hold on one sec. Let's break
Yeah.
down a couple of things. Let me ask
Yeah.
you a couple of questions. Where
Yeah.
are you working out of Presque Isle Wellness? Are you
Yes.
going to
Mind Body
Okay.
Wellness Center. Yes.
Okay. So is that going to be kind of like your home base, your physical home base?
No. So I'm going to, yeah.
See, that's why
So,
I'm asking.
no, good. You have to keep me on track.
I will.
I'm a fire sign. I'm a
Yep.
Vata, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. So I appreciate that. So I am going to be going all different places
Okay.
within Erie because here's the deal. The first thing I'm asked as a business owner is, where's my studio?
Right.
And the first thing I wanted to do was not have one.
Perfect. Yes. You know what I love about wellness people is that we all at heart are friggin' rebels. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, because we
We
yeah,
have a
we
we have a
so want to.
rebel heart for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I love it. I love it. Keep going. All right. So no
So
physical location.
right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love studios. The studios are amazing. And maybe one day this will
Right.
come into my path. But as of right now, I want to go to where yoga's needed. I don't want to have to bring yoga to me. It's not about me. It's about going and
Oh,
finding yoga. Yeah, people where they're at, what they want. So, but also in that respect, bringing me and my practice or my teaching practice that I have and the people that follow me, I'm helping to support studios. I'm
yep.
helping to support others. So I'm going to be teaching at the Y. I'm
Okay.
going to be, this is including all kids yoga stuff too. I'll be teaching at this wonderful studio that's going to do a soft open tomorrow, but it's called Studio Sage. So
Oh,
that's a new one. I'm going to be teaching there. That's downtown Erie. I'll be teaching this summer
okay.
at Asbury Woods. Thank
Okay.
goodness. Woo woo.
Yeah.
I'll be teaching at somewhere that I actually taught today. And let me just tell you, one of my favorite places to teach is Voices for Independence.
Yes.
Yes, so I've been teaching there for a while.
Okay.
And I'm back, which is wonderful. So teaching adaptive yoga there. And then I'm going to be teaching chair yoga at Niagara Village. I'm gonna there's so many places. So I hope somebody can find me. Oh, hello, and also on the beach.
Yes.
Hello,
Yep. 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 The beach.
hello, beach yoga with Abby. Oh my goodness,
That's your signature. Yeah.
I have these two women. No, I gotta tell you. Okay, I've got these two women that they schedule their vacation from Pittsburgh to make sure that they can come to my yoga class. And
Oh.
yes, and it was mother and daughter. Well, the daughter had a baby. So she brought her baby to the practice in a little playpen. It was amazing. It was so,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome. What beach do you guys do that on?
I do it on Beach 6 and it's
Okay.
on the left side. You park on the left side where nobody's really there,
Mhm.
and we're over there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is Fantastic. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Let me see here. What else are there?
Yeah.
What kind of, so you brought up the children's yoga. When you say
Yeah.
children's, like what ages are we looking at there? What does that look like?
Well, I'm actually certified from infant to 18. I haven't really done many mommy and me like infant child classes. That might be something that could happen for sure.
Mhm.
Primarily, I'm doing preschool age and I'm actually working with Early Learning Resource Center. And I just recently taught a demo and classes during their wellness event to teach them on how to incorporate yoga in the classroom, and to hopefully bring me on to some of the daycares and early learning centers.
I love that. Are you
Thank you.
working with how do you hook up with these corporate places like this? How
Yeah, so Early Learning Resource Center, we've worked with because we were foster parents. And then I heard about the wellness event through the daycare that my little guy goes to.
wonderful. But
Yeah,
see how just living, right? You just work with those resources that are already there with you, right? Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also did something I did before that that kind of bridged that to really happen was that I go to Mercyhurst every year. Kelly Kearns, she's amazing. She has me in her class, and I actually do a lecture and we do demos with future educators, so future
Oh,
teachers, which is really nice. Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
That's amazing. So let me ask you too, what kind of there's different styles of yoga out there.
Yes.
I what so what would you say your style is? And in these different classes, are you doing different styles or is it just Abby style? Let's find out what Abby style is.
No, I don't own a style. I mean, I have my own zhuzh, that you
Right.
bring to it. But no, so when I did my teacher training, which was at Well Heart Yoga in Maine, by the way, I did my teacher training for a month intensive, which is 10 hours a day for a month. Yeah, it
Wow.
was amazing. It was all so good.
Hmm.
But when I did that, I selected that place because there was places here, there were places all over the country. Keep in mind it wasn't really like the online vibe that I wanted. I wanted in person.
Right.
So I was looking at all these places, and I did not want to have a brand. Okay, I didn't want to be branded in a certain thing. I just wanted to go and learn, right?
Right.
So I went to Wellheart, and it was wonderful. My teacher Leslie Clark, she was so great. She actually taught us all the basics that you need, right? Like everything to certify you. But she told us, she said, listen, if there's a type of yoga out there like Iyengar, Ashtanga, Vinyasa, Yin, Kundalini, all of these different, there's many more, but
Right.
anything that you were interested in learning, we will learn about. So it was beautiful. So I learned about every single thing that I just listed, I
Hmm.
learned about
Hmm.
in my teacher training.
Hmm.
And what that did to me and what that did to my teaching was that it never made me afraid to learn about other types. And it never made me afraid to incorporate other types into my class
Hmm.
because there are so many benefits from different types of yoga that really should just be brought together. And so I'm trained though in hatha yoga, which hatha yoga is like the umbrella of all the other kinds.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
what I was kind of
Sorry,
wondering
I know
too.
I answered really long.
No, that was super helpful for me because those are all that answered a lot of questions in my head. I was like, okay, okay, okay. So when you're doing your yoga classes,
Mhm.
do you find that you kind of do you have a set like what you're going to do, or do you kind of freestyle?
Yes
Or a little
and
bit of
no.
both?
I am I in my past, again, you know, you kind of learn this about yourself. When I took public speaking class, I remember I over prepared. You know, you got to prepare, you got to outline and rehearse and rehearse. And I bombed it. It was horrible. And then I procrastinated on the last one. And I literally had 5-10 minutes before class to just review the stuff. And I aced it.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, "What did you do different?" And I'm like, "Literally, I didn't prepare as much." And he's like, "You are a conversationalist." So what he said and what has transpired into how I teach is, yes, I do have an idea for my practice, what it is I want to bring to them. Sometimes it's more of like a lucrative, liquidity of an intention.
Right.
You know, it's not really a one I'm gonna do this pose, and this pose. It's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna work on the vibe today with the sunshine and I feel happy, or maybe there's something currently happening in the world and I will bring it. You know, I'll be like, listen, today is not a good day for most people. Let's get it out, you know? So it's kind of like I do prepare, but it's intuitive.
Right. Well, just kind of like I was saying before we even got on here, how I kept saying, remember, we're just having a conversations, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, because I'm like that too. Even with my own practice of doing massage, especially with new clients, I'm always like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then I get in there and I don't do any of that. And I just go with what's needed or what just ends up flowing out of me that day. And I find that those sessions tend to be the best sessions ever, right? So we can go in with a framework, but allow things to flow. And I think, Abby, you're one of those people that, your flow is some good juju. So
thanks.
yeah. Do you have anything else that you wanted to bring up today or let our viewers know? Or I think you're right where you need to be in the right time that you're at. And I saw you posting and I am just thrilled for where you're at and your family is at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you're going to do amazing things. I have absolutely no doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I just want to tell everybody thank you for anybody that's listening that has come to one of my classes or even just gotten to know me. Thank you so much for your support and for being there and watching me grow. Also, thank you to some of my students that have taught me more than I've taught them, for sure. Yes. And they continue to teach me every day. And thank you, Heather, for doing this. This is so cool. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I've never done a podcast before in my life. So this is amazing.
But isn't this fun just to be able to talk about, it's not about talking about yourself. It's about talking about the thing that you love and your service to people and your story. That is amazing. That will, inspire other people to follow what they have felt in their lives. And this is just a really nice way to share that, right?
Right. And I hope that people still stay tuned and they get to see I have some things out there that I'm excited to do in the future. And I also just want to say to everybody, thank you. And please find yoga. And if you ever need help in doing so, if it's not with me, I will absolutely point you in the direction. And of course, namaste.
Namaste. You're amazing, Abby. I look forward to seeing all the amazing things you're going to be doing this summer and beyond. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Abby, I'm going to meet you down in the green room, so don't go away quite yet. Just hang on there, and I'll see you backstage here, all right? Thank you, everybody. Bye.